Howdy, I'm Camille Flores, and my project is on the biofuel ethanol. First, let's get into an overview. What is ethanol? It's corn. Well, kinda. It is corn, but ethanol is a renewable biofuel made from plants like corn and sorghum. New technologies allow for this biofuel to also be made from wood and other kinds of agricultural wastes. This type of biofuel is typically blended into gasoline. In fact, 98% of U.S. gasoline includes around 10% of ethanol. Ethanol has bettered our environment and our vehicles because it burns cooler and clearer than oil. The higher the ethanol content in our gasoline, the better. I've taken some data from growtheenergy.org, and they have concluded that the burning of ethanol in our gas promotes clearer and cleaner air. It promotes engine health, and that greenhouse gas emissions from corn ethanol are 46% lower than regular gasoline. Now let's get into production. There are two kinds of ways ethanol is produced. First, we're going to talk about starch and sugar-based production. Most ethanol in the U.S. is collected from crops that are starch-based, hence corn. The production occurs from dry and wet mill processing. Dry milling is when corn is grinded into flour and then the remaining particles are fermented. Wet milling is when starches, proteins, and fibers are separated in order to obtain ethanol. Now let's talk about cellulosic production. In this production, ethanol is produced biochemically or thermochemically. The biochemical process involves pretreatment to release hemicellulose sugars and hydrolysis to break cellulose into sugars. During the process, sugars are fermented into ethanol, and lignin is recovered and used to generate energy throughout this process. The thermochemical conversion process involves adding heat and chemicals to a biomass feedstock in order to make syngas, which is a mixture of carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Syngas is mixed with a catalyst and reformed into ethanol and other liquid co-products. In our daily lives, ethanol is widely available and frequently used more as vehicular fuel, but it also is present in the manufacturing of plastics, medicine, cosmetics, and pharmaceuticals, and I can guarantee you can find it in many other places as well. Let's talk about ethanol's carbon footprint. Greenhouse gas emissions from corn ethanol, as we talked about earlier, are significantly lower than gasoline. Ethanol also doesn't give off harmful carcinogens like MTBE and benzene like gasoline does. It also provides a naturally high octane concentration in the atmosphere, and it drives farmers to use the existing cropland to its utmost potential during the process of production. Also, we need to consider that oil spills can harm marine life and ecosystems for decades, but ethanol doesn't pose as much of a risk in our environment as oil does because, unlike oil, it's biodegradable. The economic impact of ethanol is very, very prominent. The production of ethanol is a source of economic strength across the United States. In 2005, the ethanol industry had contributed about $17.7 billion to our country's GDP. This industry has grown to employ and support around 300,000 American jobs in 2020. The American biofuel industry is still growing. Data from 2017 concludes that over 1 million barrels of ethanol were being produced daily that year. Ethanol is blended into roughly 98% of our fuel supply, meeting 10% of our motor fuel needs. And during the latest spike of oil prices, ethanol had saved Americans up to 10 cents per gallon on fuel. America is the world's top ethanol exporter. Our commitment to renewable fuels has made this country a global leader in clean energy. There are many organizations and committees across the country dedicated to educating others on the importance of biofuels. The public's dedication to clean energy has led to the commitment of investors, scientists, and policymakers in order to better the environment and protect consumers. Ethanol is an essential biofuel in our lives. It can lower fuel prices, is renewable, and contributes to cleaner air. It is important to take advantage of renewable energy sources and to use it safely. Too much of anything is dangerous, so as long as we use this biofuel responsibly and listen to data, ethanol can better our lives. Here I have my sources cited. Thanks and gig 'em.